whether you're looking at globalizing into London because of market access, whether it's resources that London offers to you, be they capital or human or natural resources perhaps, or maybe even operating efficiencies, London may well be a destination in principle for you already. But what we've recognized in the last 6 to 12 months, of course, is that the scale of uncertainty and the level of disruption in the world economy may have caused many just to stop and take their bearings and reevaluate either should you globalize, should you move into Europe through London at all, or sometime, or now. And the poll obviously has given us some indicators there in terms of where this audience is at. So really, whether you're thinking of if London or when London, we wanted to take a look at some of the key factors we believe, despite the economic conditions, make a compelling case for London now. We think the case is really all about value, and we'll talk straight and be very clear that we think the most compelling reason to act now is to take advantage, perhaps even tactically, of the value that London offers. So we're all in business to create return for our investors, and that return is all about value. It's where the cost of creating the return can be made lower, and therefore the value achieved made higher. And current market conditions are creating a unique opportunity, hence this idea of a window to invest at advantageous terms. And there are a number of criteria that we think are, or elements that are particularly prevalent in most foreign investment decisions. And we'll just look through a couple of those now. We talked about the motivation of accessing resources, and certainly for many companies and many of our clients, talent, so the human resource aspect, is a key piece of why they choose to globalize and come into London. So if we look tactically at what's been going on through the economic circumstances we've all faced, it's fair to say that the talent pool has grown both in terms of breadth and depth. In some respects, this is the silver lining to the unemployment that comes with downturns and recessions. People are becoming available in the market in middle and senior levels of experience that just weren't in the market previously because they've been tied in or locked into perhaps other corporations. So the talent pool is much richer in many respects, and it's become a buyer's market. It's ideal for companies looking to get the best, possibly for much less than perhaps it would have cost previously, or implicitly it will cost in the future. And there are many companies that we've worked with over the last 12 months that have still been compelled, despite the circumstances, to move into London because of the skill base, because of the talent pool. So that talent pool is really all about highly qualified workers. And London has something in the order of 1.9 million what our Office of National Statistics classifies as highly qualified workers. So more than half of the London working population, in fact, meets this level of qualification. And that's typically covering senior positions in management, in professional and technical occupations, as well as professorial level positions within academia. Furthermore, London, of course, boasts some of the best raw talent, if we can call graduate talent that. The raw talent coming out from something like 400,000 students at any one time studying in London at 40 higher education establishments. London has more top 10 higher education establishments than any other world city. 3 of the top 10 academic establishments globally are in London. And with students from over 200 countries, London's student base is also the most diverse in the world. The region's got the highest number within the UK context, it's the highest number of higher education students. Around 17% of 2.5 million students studying in the UK do so in London. And I think most appropriate for our business conversation here today, the top 3 subjects being studied in London are business studies, life sciences, and the creative arts. So that's really the talent piece. Often the other major denominator in looking at a foreign investment decision into London is property. It's the facilities piece. Now, much has been said about the nature of the commercial property market and, of course, the domestic property market in the context of the recession. But if we just localize that and see why it's a positive thing, unless you're a property investor perhaps in London. Just one example in the West End, and it's typical, it's representative across the city. Rents have decreased from their peaks of early 2008 by at least 30% in terms of commercial property costs. And London has lost its standing as the officially the most expensive commercial property in the world for the first time in 9 years. Cushman & Wakefield, some of you may know their annual surveys, their office space across the world report for 2009 showed that Hong Kong and Tokyo have now taken the top slots as most expensive locations. Now the good news for investors is that DTZ expects rents to fall by potentially another 14 to 15% still before they bottom out, and maybe as much as 20% in the West End. And there's a different side to that story, which we'll come back to in a moment. But overall, property availability, choice, and price have been enhanced significantly over the last 18 months. So we've talked about talent and property as the 2 major considerations and denominators of starting a foreign investment in London. Of course, the compounding effect is currency. We've seen sterling decline even just in the last 12 months by nearly 18% against the dollar. Clearly, if you take a slightly wider window, it's been off by even more than that. Again, 12-month window is off about 15% against the euro. So, of course, what this is doing is it's compounding the fact that it's a buyer's market. The fact that supply is up, prices down on property and people is just compounded positively for dollar investors, for euro investors into London, making these things even more accessible. But, of course, there's a more personal angle to this. It's not just about the company investing in people and talent, but actually having those people happy to be in the city that you choose to be becomes much more personal. And the cost of living element is, I think, another key consideration here. And again, it's a positive story. If you're employing people in London, they're happier to be here because it's cheaper than it was. In fact, the relative cost of living by a number of measures, whether it's the Economic Intelligence Unit's recent report that showed London dropping from the 8th most expensive city in Western Europe to the 27th, or, as we show here, the Mercer Cost of Living Survey more recently, showing that London is down from 3rd to 16th on the rankings that they use. So it's cheaper for people to live here. Simple message.